Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be keeping it nice and quick, short and concise. Today's video is about this pretty surprising seasonal show called Too Many Losing Heroines. Now, this is a rom-com type of thing, somewhat leaning towards a harem. 3 female characters kind of like in the running, so yeah, that would fall into that category, I would say. But it has piqued my interest. Most of the times, I will ignore them and call them trashy. But this one has piqued my interest. I was not originally going to watch it, but then it's like, okay, you know, it has some like nice aesthetic things. I can give it an episode. If anything, drop it, call it a day. And I'm very happy that I did not end up dropping this show. I think it is surprisingly good. Again, I'm going to say surprising a lot of times. That's just what it feels to me. To give you a summary, I can very much quickly say the title is pretty accurate to the show. There are too many losing heroines. If too many is 3 of them, pretty much this show has them shown that they're losing, and now there's this one dude who's kind of like the dweeby loser main character that we are following, and boom, rom-com magic happens. With the premise that simple, you're like, okay, then why are you talking about it? Well, I think it is falling in line with a couple of other shows that are coming out, but is in its way unique and doing something different. And it is making a bit of a satire to rom-coms and harem itself. That is generally one of the sells for it. I think it does a solid job and its comedy is very good. I think it's actually very close, very comparable to something like SNAFU. And I fucking love that show. So why would I be, knocking this one? To build on that comparison, again, 3 female characters within SNAFU, 3 female characters within this one, and the main characters are overall somewhat similar, playing a similar role of like this kind of loser character. Of course, it's done in a different way. I think Hiki is not particularly self-aware. He's very self-aware to the scenarios in which he's in. He's aware to his environment, but he's not super aware of himself, and the story's about building up to become more aware. While I would say our character in this one, he's pretty aware to more of everything. I guess he does have a little bit of a noxious oblivious to girls flirting with him. I feel their characters are pretty similar. Hachiman has so much more depth, but I think they're pretty comparable. They're doing similar things, but in different ways. SNAFU, though, is very, I think, snappy, very quick with a lot of his comedy. It throws stuff at you very fast. I think this one will actually take it a little bit more of a slower pace, and I think with it being newer, with it being more modern, it's able to comment on more modern trends than satire, something that, is not as hugely prevalent as it is now. Anyways, I think this show is actually quite enjoyable. And I will say, I think it's signaling a rise in a particular type, a somewhat, I guess, subgenre that might be sprouting about within anime. We've recently come across a trend of what I have coined the gimmick rom-com and stuff, where I think they kind of plague us, just like the female often has some gimmick. The main character is just consistently flustered and just taken aback by the female character. Basic rom-com stuff happens, and I would argue a lot of times they don't have a lot of depth. You can say this for like Komi Can't Communicate, Uzaki-chan, Don't Tease Me Nagatoro, Shikimori's Not a Cutie. You can make a big list of them, and they're coming out every more present. Rom-coms already existed to a good degree, and now we're getting even more that I feel lack a lot of original substance. I think people are commenting on how they're not liking this. People who like more critically engaging media, are commenting and like, I don't care to watch this. This is getting annoying. This is becoming repetitive. And I think we're seeing a shift of things that are now commenting and making fun, being meta about it. I would say probably one of the originators of this was SNAFU. SNAFU was honestly ahead of its time compared to rest. As some other comparisons, Love is War, even though I think it has a lot more glue held down than just being meta on other rom-coms and being good at commenting on the state of like our generation and like the psychological norms that we weirdly have. I would say Danger in My Heart is like noting them, being a little critical, pointing, making little jabs here and there, and really perfecting the genre. And we can also say things like 100 Girlfriend that really just takes harem, just fucking wild and goes crazy with it. I think we're seeing this leaning of things that are romances that are commenting and being more meta and satirical about romance. And I think this is another one that has kind of come out and fallen to that line. Right now, I'm not tired of these type of shows. I think they're generally interesting. I've been amused by them. A lot of these ones on my list I have pretty highly rated. This I also am falling in the same line. But I can see that more things might come out that will start following this trend, and it might become tired, given a couple more years. We'll see. That is my particular prediction. It was something I wanted to talk about, particularly when it came to this show. But if you're interested in more of that, I would say this is another good sell. If you liked Danger, I think this could be a pretty good thing. Love is War, 100 Girlfriends, those type of things. I feel this kind of falls in line with that and is definitely a more interesting and notable rom-com and doesn't feel like something really throwaway that I've seen a lot as of recent years. I think it is a good thing coming out this season and one of my top things that I'm watching. So I hope you liked and enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.